to be either government alone or PPP. We have to move beyond PPP. It's not what happened in telecoms or in oil and gas, in LNG. It's not PPP. Foreign investors were allowed to come in and own equity. That motivates investors, not just within the narrow confines of government is monopoly, you can partner with me. You have to open all these sectors for private investment. And that's missing, in the plan.
Why do you think government is keeping these ones closed? Why?
You have to ask the government. I don't know why. But see, this government is new. And we have opportunity to tell them to change what has not worked under previous regimes.
But
so they may not consciously, sorry?
I mean, couldn't they have thought of that when they were coming in, seeing that all these while things like this have not worked, and then they've come in, one would expect that this plan will be completely different from what has been. But they're still holding on to something. To achieve 10,000 megawatts by 2020, yet the TCN is not to be sold or opened up. They stated in the plan. So it's the same thing that was before.
Which didn't work.
Which didn't work. And that's what's being pursued.
And speaking, of trying to do all of these things alone with revenue constraints. Government simply does not have the money to invest across, even when you speak of education or health. The health institutions are in decay. Across the teaching hospitals, you get told to go and do lab tests outside.
Yeah.
But you could, and the labs that you go to are not owned, are owned by, mostly by foreigners. Okay, so you could work out an arrangement, maybe, or give them opportunity to come and invest in those laboratories within the hospitals. It's a win-win situation, rather than, face a situation where Nigerians need to travel abroad, for health services.
But we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the plan to also review the ban on 41 items. And yet we're talking about opening up, creating more environment, creating more jobs, doing more of exports than import. Yet we want to look at the 41 items. Would that in any way help to pursue that export plan instead of more import? We'll take a moment and we'll back shortly. Please don't go away. Welcome back. We're rounding up this segment. So, Mr. Chukwu and Mr. Teriba, as we wind down, let's wind down this part of the 41 items that are meant to be reviewed. Is that the right part?
Well, in the first place, if you do not review the 41 items, you are not going to address the distortions in the FS market. Because what happens is that because you have not banned them outrightly, they are not prohibited from being imported into the country. So it means that anybody who wants to bring them has to look for money from the alternative market. So you have created a constant demand
for the use of the black market, which you are trying to discourage.
So you have to just review that. You see, and I'm happy when they said, like I said, I hope we will implement the policy as it is. When they say they're going to achieve a higher level of harmony between fiscal, trade, and monetary policies, the issues about duties are at the trade policy level. What should be the duty on each of these items? You can use your trade policies to discourage importation of any item, or so that by making those costs, to landing costs of those items to be too exorbitant, so that local manufacturers, particularly you do that where you have where local manufacturers can take the laugh. So local manufacturers can produce at below the imported competitive product, and not necessarily having products that are not banned, and you say they cannot access FX from the official market, then you create a distortion in the market and compel a parallel market to exist.
Okay. Mr. Teriba.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the issues. These 41 items existed before the plan. We spent much of the last hour discussing the plan. I do not think that this revision that you're talking about made it into the plan. And it's not just what central bank is doing, it's what many ministries are doing. So many of the actions we have to talk about on a day-to-day, they didn't quite connect with the plan. My view about the 41 items is I don't think we should have come up with any prohibition items in the first place. And I don't think tweaking that list going forward is the correct approach. The problem we had that made the central bank to bring out the 41 items was that oil price fell below $30 a barrel. We didn't have enough
Forex
to meet foreign exchange demand. As we speak today, oil price is twice as high as it was a year ago. Reserves have started increasing. If that condition persists for the next few weeks or couple of months, you will get back into a situation where you have enough forex to meet demand and you forget about the list altogether. So I think that government should have concentrated on how to get increased forex supply. We issued, 1 billion, euro bond, which was oversubscribed eightfold. That's the way Nigeria should have been headed. There's a glut of liquidity on the global scene. You should have been trying to get this liquidity in. Eurobond is commendable, but you could have got more than you got. Diaspora bonds we are trying to issue. FDI you can open. To get investment into key sectors, India lists like 50, Saudi Arabia lists like 50. They adjust the list at the beginning of every year. Nigeria should list sectors that need investment, that's not getting investment. And let's know where you want to give investors limit of 25%, where you want to give them limit of 50%. Once you publish the list, they come. You don't have to go and issue it in London. You publish the list here, across all ministries. Let's engage an investor and not start micromanaging one list of 41 items. I think it's a very backward way of doing things. And I hope that as foreign reserves gets to the threshold of comfort, hopefully when it gets to 36 billion US dollars, as it might, in the next couple of months, we'll do away with all those and open up Nigeria for foreign investment, which is the key.
I think that's a good place to just land this morning. Thank you very much for coming. I'd like to thank Mr. Ayo Teriba, who's an economist, as well as Mr. Johnson Chukwu, MD, Carry Assets Management. Thank you very much for coming this morning and sharing your insights with us. We'll be right back with yet another interesting conversation. See you in just a moment.